Hey, Al,
Yes,
what time is it?
it's Halloween time. Halloween 2020.
And if you're on fistfulofradio.com listening, it's Halloween Day. Happy Halloween.
Happy All Hallows Day.
Yes. We're going to give you a quick history lesson in a moment about the origin of Halloween, and then we have a lot of clips,
And I'll move my pumpkin out
commercials, Halloween-themed commercials from the 70s and 80s, and a
There
bunch
you
of other
go.
rare, fun stuff.
Hey, Chance, you look different.
Yeah, I'm wearing this is my 1960s hippie outfit. I have a wig on, a tie-dye, some bell-bottoms and sandals, and that's what I'm wearing to a Halloween party
Actually,
tomorrow.
I like your hair better that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this is a wig my friend Wade Hackett gave me. It was his grandmother's wig. Mm-hmm. Taking the headphones off of the camera so you can see the full effect. Hello, everybody.
Well, happy Halloween, and today we're going to be talking all things Halloween. And Halloween goes back a long time. And it's actually, it was Hallows Evening, All Hallows Eve, All Halloween, All Saints Eve. It's a celebration observed in many countries on October 31st, and it's the eve of Western Christian Fest of All Hallows Day.
So there's a religious
Yes.
aspect to the origin of it.
Actually, there's a Catholic connection. One theory holds that many Halloween traditions originated from ancient Celtic harvest festivals in Ireland, and which some people says it has pagan roots, and that it itself was not welcomed in a lot of the early churches. But the activities include trick-or-treating, of course. Everybody trick-or-treats. Souling, attending Halloween costume parties, carving pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, bobbing apples when they have parties and eat stuff. In many parts of the world, the Christian religious observances of Halloween's All Hallows Eve includes church services. Lighting candles on the graves of the dead remain popular, although elsewhere in the more commercial world, they don't do that. But it's All Hallows Eve.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, you know who's performing tonight, don't you? Our good friend Jim Gossett at Houck's Grill. Halloween night, October 31st.
Nice, you're going to have a lot of trick-or-treaters there.
Yeah. Now, do you get a lot of trick-or-treaters at your house, Al?
It depends. This year it's on Saturday. Today's Saturday, but probably, yeah.
I hardly get any at all.
Really?
Nope. I get candy. I'm prepared, but I hardly
Well,
get
they don't
a
come
single...
to your house for a reason.
Yeah.
Stay away from
They've
that
been
guy's
warned.
house.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Stay away from that guy's house, Hang on a second.
Yes.
I was doing something here. Hang on a second. Here we go. Anyway, do you go... I remember going trick-or-treating when I was a young child with my brother, and it was one of the best. I've always liked Halloween. I've loved Halloween. And it was one of those things that I used to do and look forward to it, more so probably than Christmas.
Hey, in a second, pull up the phone number because we want to hear your
I'll put
favorite
that.
Halloween story. What was a prank that you pulled on Halloween? What's your favorite Halloween candy? What's your favorite Halloween costume that you dressed up in as a kid or as an adult? Do you attend Halloween parties? I'm about to go to an adult party tomorrow in Athens, Georgia with our friend Danny, friend of the show, and I'm really looking forward to that.
I went to Halloween parties. I
Post-Halloween
actually had some back in the day at my house.
Oh, really?
Not here when I lived in Chamblee. But anyway, the best Halloween parties I ever went to was when I worked for Ted Turner. And he had Turner Outdoor. He always had a huge Halloween party at his warehouse. And it was the party to get a ticket to go to. And I went to several of those. Now, I worked at Turner for 13 years, but after about the first 3 or 4 years I was there, he stopped having them. Because he sold the outdoor company. But they were great Halloween
Can you talk about
parties.
the door prizes a little bit?
Oh, he gave away televisions. He gave away
What?
stereos, all kinds of high-end stuff.
That's like the pre-Tyler Perry giveaway kind
And
of
that's
stuff.
that's back when Ted owned the Atlanta Braves, and all the Braves were
Right.
there. It was a lot of fun.
Right,
You
right.
know, it was a great time.
And
really
you,
enjoyed
again,
it.
for new listeners and viewers, you worked at Turner from 1970 what? Until
1977 till 1991.
That's excellent, excellent. And then I guess the recession hit you guys hard, and that's when the layoffs happened. Is that right? Is that what happened in 91?
No, I got fired when Time Warner bought the place, and when Ted sold out, I got canned with a lot of people.
I didn't know what happened back. I thought it happened later than 91. I didn't realize it was that soon in time.
Well, it actually happened right after that.
Okay.
No. I was fired right before that. I take that back.
Okay. Now you have a lot of decorations I see here in your studio.
Well, we have my little pumpkin here. See that?
You held that up right before the show started.
Yeah. And pumpkin here. I got some pumpkins over here. But Halloween's always been a favorite time of mine.
Well, last year, we had a 2-part special on Halloween and horror movies. And by the way, Tom Williams will be back next week. He'll speak to this if he wants to share it. I won't go into detail, but he had a death in the family of a canine nature and very sad. And our thoughts and prayers go out to Tom.
Yes. Rose was a sweet dog. Yes, she was.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to our friend Tom Williams and Susan. And he'll be back next week. And we're going to talk about Saturday morning television and cartoons and live action shows that you grew up with on Saturday morning. We'll have a special guest. I won't say now who he is. Someone who's never been on the show before. And that'll be next week at Studio East at Tom Basil Chesterman's studio.
And that'll be next weekend.
Next week, yep. So,
but Halloween is, everybody celebrates Halloween in lots of different ways. I mean, when you have children, of course, you go trick-or-treating. But a lot of people just watch horror movies.
Yeah.
And really, the very first horror movie that was really made was in 1922, a silent version of Dracula. But it was made in Germany. It was a German film made in 1922. And it was directed by F.W. Monroe. I think that's his name. Started Max Schreck. But it was Count Orlok. He wasn't Dracula. They called him Count Orlok because Bram Stoker, Dracula.
Bram Stoker
was copyrighted, and so they got around it, and they called him Count Orlok. Well, the estate ordered all prints destroyed, and not many exist to this day of Dracula, the 1922
they ordered them
version.
Destroyed.
Yes.
What the hell?
And that's why many, there was a remake of Nosferatu in the 70s with Klaus Kinski. And I have the DVD. This is out of print now.
Look at that. And folks, if you're listening at fistfulradio.com, go to our YouTube channel, Nostalgic Podblast. Podblast is one word. Or go to our Facebook page, which is where we're live right now as we record this.
And this was a remake, of course, and this is a great version. It's out of print. I looked on Amazon today, and this particular box set goes for $69.
Wow!
I think I paid $10 or $12 for it.
I mean, you've got all sorts of stuff here, man. You've got laser discs, DVDs, things that are out of print that are worth a small fortune.
I have all of my laser disc, my horror laser disc. I tried to watch one today called The Scars of Dracula when I got up this morning. But laser discs look like bad videotape compared to Blu-rays and DVDs today.
Yeah, there's no lines of resolution. It's not 1080p.
No,
it's not even 420.
It just looks really bad.
It does. You have to have an old TV with a tube to make it look right.
Right.
Laser discs.
On a new TV, they look pretty bad. They're pretty bad. But Nosferatu is a great movie. A lot of people show that. In fact, I think they showed it at the Fox one time with the organ. Because it's a silent movie.
Yeah, and I love seeing movies at the Fox Theater here in Atlanta. Anyone in another state or another country, the Fox Theater is a historic theater. They had all sorts of premieres like Gone with the Wind back in the day, and they have concerts there. Like Prince's, one of his last concerts was at the Fox Theater.
Well, I guess it'll get back to it when COVID goes away.
Yeah, but when they show movies, it's really neat because they show a retro cartoon, like a Warner Brothers 1950s, 1940s cartoon.
Yeah.
And previews, and they will have a sing-along, and they have this organ, the Momo organ.
They showed Nosferatu there once, the silent version with the organ, and it's quite a treat. In fact, they were streaming. Somebody was streaming it on Facebook today with the organ from some theater. I forget where it was at. But
well, I really miss seeing the movies there. But as we mentioned last week in our James Bond special, there's a big echo in the Fox Theater when you see a movie there. It's very cavernous.
Right. Well, movies, yes, but not so much with
concerts. They have the acoustics, fine-tuned.
On my stereo system in the living room in there, there's a setting on there that's got mono movie. In other words, if you watch a mono movie on the TV in there, it's got that echo, just like it's in a big theater. It's kind of cool.
That is cool.
It's called mono movie.
Well, I have a little commercial I want to play. This is from the 70s and the 80s. These are a couple compilations if I'm potted up. This is, you'll recognize this voice, Mr. Vincent Price.
Who made a lot of good horror movies. And actually, Vincent Price, I got it here, he made one of my favorite horror movies, House on Haunted Hill.
Oh, that's a freaky one.
Yeah, did you ever see it?
Yeah, and
it's not hugely scary, but it's just kind of a neat movie. Here, I got it right here. There's the
look at that.
House on Haunted Hill.
It looks like it's sealed in plastic, but it's not.
No, it's not. I've watched it. Great movie.
I liked House of Wax that Vincent Price did. That's on Turner Classic Movies almost every year.
Yeah, I have that.
Great movie. If you've never seen it,
did you ever see it in 3D?
No.
Well, it's okay in 3D. There's a scene in it where the guy's out in front of the House of Wax, and he's got this. What do you call these things? You as kids, with the batting ball, or the little rubber ball on the. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, with the little. It has like a rubber band.
Yeah, and he was doing
paddle,
it out,
like a paddle
out
ball,
and it was like it was
paddle
coming
ball.
out to you in the audience. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like
yeah.
we talked about in our previous show with Jim Gossett, how they
Yeah.
would parody that on SCTV, the 3D effect.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, Halloween's my favorite time of the year, next to Christmas and the holiday season.
I like Halloween.
But this year has just been so bad, this 2020, and I couldn't have been more wrong. In one of our first shows in January, I said, you have a feeling 2020 is going to be a great year. And it's just been, obviously, a disaster. With the lockdowns, with the COVID-19, I mean, it's just like a plot out of The Walking Dead. With that virus that turns people into zombies.
There's Count Orlok on the screen now. See?
Yeah. That is one of the freak... And they revised him in Salem's Lot, one of the first screen adaptations of a Stephen King book. It was a
really?
1979 miniseries with David Saul, and they brought him back, that vampire. That's one of the spookiest vampires of all time.
This is a creepy... if you ever get a chance to see the silent version, it's really, really good. So I don't like black and white movies. I don't like them silent, but this is really a good movie. And most, if you find it on DVD, you can find it on Blu-ray and stuff from Amazon, and it's got a great soundtrack to it.
I'm shocked. I didn't know. You've never said to me in all the years I've known you that you don't like black and white movies. I thought you liked all movies.
I do like. What do you say? I do like black and white movies.
Okay, I must have misheard you. I thought
No.
I
said a lot of people don't like.
a
black
lot of people. Yeah, okay.
I love black and white movies.
I was going to say I do too.
Yeah.
It gives it atmosphere and mood.
Yeah, but that's Count Orlok.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
But check out Salem's Lot. We're going to give you a lot of rental ideas and things to stream and things to look up if you're still quarantined or if you just want to have a private party.
Well, if you have cable, Xfinity, Comcast has a whole channel dedicated to horror movies. And so there's lots of stuff to watch. And I have a ton of stuff on DVD. I like to watch it down there on the big screen. But, I like Halloween.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, Al has a movie theater screen down there, 35 millimeter, as well as state-of-the-art modern projection, 4K, 3D, the works, including $100 pair of 3D glasses. They're $100 each.
I don't have any 3D movies, though.
I do.
No, well, is it a Marvel movie? No, just joking.
Well, a couple of them are, but I have some other
In
ones.
3D?
I have Friday the 13th Part 3D.
Yeah.
You don't care for those movies, but I
like the
slasher
first one. Okay, the first one was all right, but then I don't like. I like horror movies, but I like horror movies that doesn't show so much the blood and the gore. That became popular in the 80s, I guess.
Well, see, I like the makeup. I like Tom Savini. I like Greg Nicotero, who I auditioned for, and he picked me to be a featured walker on The Walking Dead.
Right.
Check out episode Guts. Season 1, episode 2, I'm the dude that Merle shoots from the rooftop, big whoop, but it was a hell of a lot of fun doing that stunt with the squib and having the director, a great female director, Michelle, saying, all eyes on him with a bullhorn in downtown Atlanta on Baker Street. And they sealed it off on a weekend in August, this is back in 2010.
Right.
And they had tanks. They had all sorts of great, huge props. Hell of a lot of fun working on Walking Dead. Loved it.
I like Walking Dead. Okay, I could watch it. I wasn't into it like a lot of people were, but
But how much have you seen? Honestly, have you seen?
no, I've actually seen maybe the first season.
First season's only 6 episodes, so that's
Yeah, I've seen the first season.
and the first season's one of the best. But it really sucks you in as it goes along with new characters.
This is the last year they're gonna.
Yes, but they started a new show. There's a new Walking Dead show that just started. It's kind of
really?
like and it just began this year. I don't know how long that'll go.
Well, if you have a favorite horror movie, give me a call and let's talk about it. Like I said, I like a lot of different horror movies. I couldn't say that I have a favorite horror movie, but I guess I do.
I love, of course, I mean, this is so cliche, but I love the Halloween movies. Michael Myers. The first 4 were my favorite, and I didn't mind the Rob Zombie version of Halloween 2 in the hospital.
The first Halloween I liked. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't watch. I mean, I watched some of the other ones, but the first one, was okay for me.
And it wasn't like
Had Donald Pleasance in it. I always liked him. As an actor.
factoid about Halloween, and I know you didn't believe me. I think I made you a believer. The mask of Michael Myers, that's William Shatner's face from a Star Trek mask.
I just don't believe that.
The fans are going to set you straight because everyone knows that's a fan of horror and a fan of Halloween. That absolutely is a Captain Kirk 1976 Star Trek mask. Yeah. What's that? What's that beeping?
I just turned the fan off. There was a fan on back there. I turned it off. Did you have that clip you wanted to play?
Yeah, this is a commercial with Vincent Price. Here we go.
Play it.
Oh, I do enjoy an evening with a little light entertainment. But when your video heads get dirty, you lose your picture. Not a pretty sight. Happily, this new Polaroid video cassette will help you. It actually cleans your heads as it plays, so dirty heads needn't haunt you. New Polaroid video cassettes. Get the picture?
I had a Polaroid camera.
Here. Listen to this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
What is this?
10,
Listen,
11,
it's almost over.
12.
It's the commercial for Friday 13th, Part 1.
May only see it once.
But then it goes into a pretty funny commercial.
Friday the 13th, rated R.
In theaters now, back in 1980.
There's a vacancy
Listen to this.
at the Bates Motel.
Norman, is that you?
No, it's Buzz McKenzie, and it could be you. Look for this display and enter Bud Light Psycho Sweepstakes to win a Bud Light party with Buzz McKenzie at the Psycho Mansion. You could even get a mug like Spud's at participating retailers. Wow!
That Spuzz is so cool, it's scary.
It's showing the dog turning around like Mother in
Now we
Psycho.
present Scary Tales.
Here's one more.
I rolled off the north side. Good news, my lord. Soon the city will be mine. Excellent, my lord. The wench has blocked me. We've lost. We, my lord?
Cathedral, the medieval strategy game. When the city is finished, you could be too.
Hi there, guys and ghouls. It's me,
Elvira.
Elvira, the Queen of Halloween. And tonight I'm having my Halloween party right here at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific.
After Elvira shows you the weirdest, scariest videos ever made, the terror continues with Alice Cooper live in Detroit at midnight Eastern. Elvira at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific time, followed by Alice Cooper in concert at midnight Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific. A Halloween you'll remember, a Halloween you won't be able to forget on MTV.
Last one there's a Halloweenie.
All right. Well, we'll get back to that
Halloweeny.
later. I don't want to play too many clips right now. But, I mean, Halloween used to be so much fun. I mean, it still is.
Well,
but
it still is.
This COVID crap.
Have you seen the way I saw on CBS this morning? I was watching it, and since they have social distancing with everything, they have this chute that people put in front of their house, on the railing on the porch, and they drop the candy down the chute, and it drops
I
into
saw
the.
that.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
Now you were talking about The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first zombie movie that I can recall is Night of the Living Dead.
Absolutely. 1968.
There he is.
Yeah. George Romero. Classic. Shot in Pennsylvania.
Black and white. Yeah.
And I like Dawn of the Dead, the sequel in the 70s. It was more gory. But, yeah, that is an absolute classic.
This has a little book on the inside. It's been a long time since I've watched this, but it's not bad. It's a pretty good little movie.
I'm going to get you into Walking Dead, season 2 and 3 and beyond.
Well, you buy the DVDs and I'll watch them.
I have them.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We can watch this. But I like Night of the Living Dead. They show that a lot of times on TV.
I need help from you, Al, and the listeners. This is a scene with some witches. It's very brief. It's just about a minute long. I know you said you didn't want to talk about TV today. This is the one exception, and there'll be another one later in the show. But this is a scene with 3 witches from... This aired in October 1967. I know you hate this show. You dislike it. It's Star Trek, but it was a Halloween episode, the only one they did. But listen, these 3 witches come up, and they give a warning. It's only a minute, but they give a warning to Captain Kirk. And I'm a big Trekker, okay, big geek Trekker, and I've never understood what these witches are saying. So can someone translate this for me? Here we go.
You're not saying anything.
Just listen. What the hell? I can understand you'll meet your end and Captain Kirk, but I don't understand what the hell they were saying. Hear me cut this.
Well, you can't understand what they're saying. I couldn't. It was just a lot of, Halloween
It's supposed to
sounds.
be poetry, but I've never understood what the hell they're saying. Hopefully someone will write us, and I've never found anything online, like a script or anything. No big deal. I mean, there's more important things to worry about these days.
There was a movie that came out. John Malkovich is one of my favorite actors.
Oh, God, yeah. Method actor.
And he was in a movie with Willem Dafoe.
Another one of my favorite actors.
And they were shooting a movie called Shadow of the Vampire. But the thing about it is, John Malkovich played the vampire. No, he was the director. I take that back. Anyway, or was it Willem Dafoe? Anyway, he was a real vampire. And on the set, he was killing people on the set. It was called Shadow of the Vampire. See there? You ever heard of it?
Never have. And those are 2 of my favorite actors in the whole world.
See there? Look.
That's cool.
That's a great movie.
What year now?
It came out, let's see, in the 90s, I guess. Before 2000. There you go. Shadow of the Vampire.
Well, tell me about it. Why do you like it? What's great about that movie?
Because they're shooting a movie called Shadow of the a vampire, Dracula movie, and the guy playing the vampire is a real vampire, and they don't know it. They think he's just an actor, and he's sucking the blood of a lot of people on the set. It's a great movie, and Malkovich is really good in it.
Please say the
He's a
title
great
again. I know you already said it. But
Shadow of the Vampire.
Shadow of the Vampire. Okay.
Yeah. We can watch it if you want. It says one of the 10 best films of the year. Yeah, it's good. Shadow of the Vampire. Oops. There we go. What are you doing?
I'm just pulling up something here. I wanted to play another quick clip if I'm potted up. All right, you remember Paul Lynde, right?
Of course I do.
And
he was the star of Hollywood Squares and, of course, Bewitched and all that sort of
and
stuff.
who is the Wicked Witch of the West? Who played her in Margaret Hamilton, right? She played the Wicked Witch of the West.
In Wizard of Oz.
Well, I've got a quick clip here. There was a special that Paul Lynde did, and it was awful, from 1976.
I saw that last year, and it's pretty bad.
It aired October 29th, 1976.
It's on Amazon Prime if you want to see it. This pizza's good.
Oh, you're welcome. Let me play a quick clip of this.
It's a terrible show.
There's an ad I got to get past. Let me get past this thing. But Paul Lynde, he also played Uncle Arthur on Bewitched, for those that don't know. And he was a very funny dude. He died way back in 1982. He was a comedian. Okay, here we go. And
Well, Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, tra-la-la-la-la. La 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 la.
This is Halloween?
What's the matter, Margaret?
Yes.
Jack
Listen.
Frost nipping at your nose?
Mr. Lynn,
This is Margaret Hamilton,
I've been your
the
housekeeper
Wicked
for
Witch.
15 years. So will you trust me when I
She
tell
looks
you
like a
something?
witch.
Of course, Margaret.
It's not Christmas.
Why don't you go dust? Here comes Peter Cottontail.
You get the joke. So he mistakes every holiday. But hang on, just bear with me.
Mr. Lynn.
Now it's Easter, and
Don't tell me. It's not Easter. Margaret, go prune a tree. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine. What is it then? A Chinese New Year, April Fool, May Day, Payday, VJ Day, Groundhog Day?
what?
This was a
Smile
terrible
when I get
show,
warm.
by the way.
That's my point. You can tell.
It was
Smile,
terrible.
can't you?
Is it over yet? We can just move on.
Hang on, wait
It's
till it
full
gets to
of
Halloween.
witches and spooks and strange creatures of the night.
Oh, sounds like Hollywood Squares.
We go through this every year. You know perfectly well what holiday it is.
Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. Whoopee.
It's the Paul Lynde Halloween Special, starring Paul Lynde, with Paul's special guests, Tim Conway, Roz Pinky Tuscadero Kelly, Margaret Hamilton, Billy Hayes, Billy Barty, special guest star Florence Henderson, a special appearance by Betty White, and a rock and roll explosion, Kiss. And now, the Paul Lynde Halloween Special.
We can fade that out now.
Yeah. You see, it was as bad as this show.
It was bad. It was bad. You know, but it's just.
But Paul Lynde was one of my favorite actors. He was very flamboyant, obviously.
Well, I think that show was just terribly written, but you know, it was just it was a chore to get through, even though it was only an hour.
The only cool thing about it was Margaret Hamilton reprised her role, her iconic role as the Wicked Witch of the West in that special. It's the only time she ever played it aside from Wizard of Oz.
When the Oz movie came out, it flopped. It wasn't very popular because people just didn't get it. But now, of course,
that shocks me because
it's a classic. It's a classic now.
Well, it was one of the first movies that featured color. It wasn't the first, but it was an early one,
Well,
1939.
mm-hmm.
And it had black and white, and I loved when it went to color. Everyone knows that, though. This is kind of nothing new. Now, I do have another quick special I want to play a quick clip of from 1977. We all know the Addams Family, right? This was this one-time special. This is very brief, Al, so bear with me. And this was in 1977, Halloween with the Addams Family.
Well, Tish, the hour of parting is near.
Look, they're French! Stop the car! Uncle Paul just rattled his chains! No fair, no fair!
What a lovely thing to say.
Cozy.
You know, you could say that.
Well, listen to the theme. They couldn't use the real Vic Mizzy theme. See, hear the variation in it?
Yeah. But if you think about it, every Addams Family was a Halloween show. You know?
It was.
So,
hang on a second. I'll cut it, but I just want to play a little more of the music. Listen to the... Oh, got it.
all right, let's get back to the movies.
All right. So you get the idea. That music was just kind of a knockoff on the original theme.
Like I said, every Addams Family was a Halloween show, in my opinion. And if you if you have Pluto TV, they have an Addams Family channel. You can watch them all 24 hours a day. to your heart's
How do they
content.
look quality-wise?
You've seen them here. They look good. Taken
Yeah.
direct from the 35 millimeter prints. Did you like Tim Burton movies?
I did. I like Beetlejuice a lot.
Well, he made movies that were Halloween related. Beetlejuice.
Bizarre movies.
Bizarre. But one of my favorites is The Corpse Bride. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just a quirky movie, and I just like it. It's just amazing visuals on it, but it's really, really good, The Corpse Bride. But, he did another movie that I like. Do you remember a movie called Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp?
Of course. Yeah.
About the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful movie for Halloween. If you ever get a chance, you should watch it.
I like the original one with Jeff Goldblum, Ichabod Crane.
Well, I don't. What?
There was one, The Headless Horseman, where it starred Jeff Goldblum.
Disney did an animated version
Old
of it. That's
movie.
the original. Yeah, an older movie.
It was a live action. I'm talking about a live action movie.
Well, this was live action.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. You've never seen the one with Goldblum, obviously.
No.
Okay. That's just a generation.
And it's called Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah. Here, I'll look it up.
No, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, let me look it up.
And of course, Hammer Films made a lot of horror movies, and I have a collection here of the Hammer horror.
Now, for those in the vernacular, Hammer horror, those are like British-made scary
Right.
movies with Christopher Lee as Dracula, for instance, and Peter Cushing, better known as Grand Moff Tarkin in the original Star Wars movie from 1977, who got blown up when the Death Star blew up.
Well, he is known for the horror movies, but yeah, he was a great actor. He was the Hammer films. I guess the most famous one is Horror of Dracula. Did you ever see that one?
Yep.
And great movie. So if you want a good movie to watch, there's lots of them out there.
Jeff Goldblum. I know he was in that, man.
I like Jeff Goldblum all right.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, 1980, TV. Yep.
It's a TV movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wasn't theatrical. All right.
No, it was great. Let me look it up. It was, at least from my childhood memory, I haven't seen it in years and years, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. But yeah, Goldblum was in it. It's one of the first things he did after Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake in 78. Late 78 is when that was released. Yeah, Meg Foster's in it, and I need to see that again. Maybe, it probably sucks. There's so many things I remember from a child's mind and from a child's eye.
Well, they look
that I thought
different
were
as you
great.
get older. I mean, when you get older, that wasn't, I remember seeing that Paul Lynch special back in the day when it was live, and it was okay. But try to watch it today, I couldn't. It was just. So our tastes change as we get older.
That's for sure.
But Universal was the king of horror movies. I mean, they made so many of them, and I have you've probably seen a lot of those.
What decade are we talking about, for those that don't know?
Oh, they started back in the 30s with Frankenstein, Dracula, with Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Boris Karloff as Frankenstein. But Universal horror movies. In fact, I have a bunch of the Universal. I didn't bring them in here, but I have a bunch of the Universal monsters that they put out.
See, I had a gore phase. Now, I like the classics like that. Now, Bride of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, we talked about that last year, but I liked Prom Night. You ever see that one? Do you have that movie poster?
I do. You want to buy it?
Name your price.
It's an insert. I have it. I'll show it to you.
That was a kind of a cool one. That's with Jamie Lee Curtis, and I guess the payoff was that the prom king got beheaded, and his head's sitting there right in the middle of the dance floor, severed head. It's kind of a cool, gory effect.
And the hammer. Here we go. There you have the Hammer stars.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. But yeah, you can't beat Universal. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. That's my dad's favorite. He loved The Creature.
Really? That is my least favorite.
Why?
I have them all, but it's okay. But The Creature was just, he looked weird. I mean, he looked
You didn't like the costume? I love that costume.
The costume was great, but, Richard Carlson was in it, too, one of my favorite actors.
And they made a great pinball machine, Creature from the Black Lagoon, I think in 1991 or 92, and it has a 3D hologram effect where the creature comes out of the swamp, It's
Oh, really?
great. Yeah, it's a cool machine. One day I'll introduce you to it.
The Tom at
There's
his
an
house,
arcade.
he bought one. Remember, he's got it hanging up in his studio.
You mean, yeah, he has a ceramic creature that comes out of the wall.
Right.
And it fell and broke, and he had to glue it back.
He glue it back together because it's kind
But
of
he
heavy.
fixed it. Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to feature that when we're there next week. We'll get a shot.
But
of
that was my
for you.
least favorite. I have all the Hammer films. You know, I like, and I have Dracula, Frankenstein on 16 millimeter film. I watched Dracula the other day. But they're great movies.
Now, there's been a little bit of a controversy, and traditions are going away. And look, with what's going on these days, people, I think, and I know I've seen it, retro stuff is really in right now. I mean, people want to go back to happier times, and especially when you're like in California or a state that's still locked down and you're sort of locked in, you're watching older movies, older TV shows, and that's what this show is about. We want to bring you back to
Hollywood
happier days.
they're backlogged on production. They're not producing a lot of new shows.
That's right, and they have so many films that are produced that are just sitting in the can, as they say, awaiting release. So many good, like right now, you'd have great horror movies out every year, and
Well, a lot of the theaters,
nothing's out.
and these pop-up drive-ins, they're showing older horror movies, like all of them are showing Hocus Pocus. Remember that with Bette Midler?
Yes.
It was a funny movie. I liked it, and they're showing a lot of those at drive-ins, Beetlejuice, stuff like that.
Our friends at the Sandy Springs Tap House
Yeah,
Cinema.
they're showing some older ones out.
Cinema
on
and Tap House. I always get that backwards. Sandy Springs Cinema and Tap House.
They
They played it last night. Beetlejuice.
Well, they have an indoor. They have 12 screens indoors too, but in their big parking lot they show. And a lot of people are showing movies outdoors. A lot of families are. They're buying video projectors and they're having, neighborhood movie parties. They're watching stuff outdoors, and that's how they pass time. Theaters here in Georgia are open, and most of the country they're open, but people are still a little leery to go to the movies, and I understand that. But they do a great job of cleaning the theaters between each show and stuff. So hopefully people will get back in the movie theaters. But, horror movies go way back. I have another collection of horror movies. It's called Legends of Horror. It's got, Humphrey Bogart made a horror movie.
I didn't know that.
Peter Lorre made a horror movie. This is the box set here. Right there. And these movies were, let's see here. They're Dr. X, The Return of Dr. X. Humphrey Bogart plays Dr. X.
It sounds like a B movie.
Mark of the Vampire, The Mask of Fu Manchu, Mad Love, and The Devil Doll.
Wow.
Really, really good movies.
The Devil Doll?
No, these are well done movies.
Okay.
But they were produced by MGM, but they were B movies that came out. But they've become kind of masterworks. People really like them now. And I think this one's out of print, but it's really, really good. So,
well, if you pod me up, I have another quick couple clips I want to play of some retro commercials. And these are very retro because, look, Toys R Us is a thing of the past, right? And who could forget Freddy Krueger, right? Check this out. Here I go, and boom.
Nobody.
I'm Freddy Krueger, and you're invited to my special get-together. But beware, you may never leave. Dial this number now. I've got some grisly new tales for you. And if you're one of my lucky callers selected at random, you'll talk to me live while you're awake and safe. So dial this number now if you dare. Talk to me live.
It's Freddy Krueger, but it's not Robert Englund doing the voice.
$2 for the first minute, 35 cents.
He probably wanted too much money.
Listen. Oh, man, you talked over it. It was $2 for the first minute. Let me back it up. Listen to that price. This is back in the 80s.
Minute, 35 cents each additional minute.
That would add up. Here's the Toys R Us commercial.
For Halloween, Toys R Us doesn't miss a trick, and the prices are a treat. We've got costumes for all Toys R Us kids, even grown-ups, and loads of candy, makeup, masks, and more. Toys R Us will make your Halloween supernatural.
This morning, Billy looked like any other boy, but as the moon rose, he turned into a werewolf. He used new Pa's Halloween makeup kits. His friends did too. Look, Mike's a vampire. Amy's a ghost. Pa's makeup is safer than masks. It never blocks vision, and it's hypoallergenic, too. So watch your kids turn into the creatures they really are with new Pa's Halloween makeup kits.
Tales of horror that will give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
The most fun you'll ever have being scared. Creep Show. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
Remember Creepshow? I loved Creepshow, the movie.
I didn't care for it.
Why not?
I liked it, but it's not one of my favorites. It's a little too gory for my taste.
You don't like comic books, and that's okay. It was literally a comic book on the big screen, and it was an anthology. And it had great actors.
I saw the movie.
E.G. Marshall was in it, and Adrienne Barbeau.
It had good people in it. There's one scene I remember that was just grossed me out. Was when the roaches came up.
E.G. Marshall. He played the.
It just grossed me out.
He played the rich guy locked into his I don't know. It was like a suite or something, and all these roaches came out. And actually, the payoff was the roaches go in his body and comes out of his throat and his
gross.
esophagus.
I just don't care for that. I like the good. Now did you ever see a movie called Dusk Till Dawn?
Of course, yeah.
That's a great movie.
From Dark Till Dawn. I'm kidding. Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn. Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And it's a great vampire movie. But it starts out, you don't know it's a vampire movie until, you know, it's just it's a good movie. But I like movies that's not so gory. I don't like in Friday the 13th when they show the knife going through their neck or whatever.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
that was an awesome effect.
I'm just not into that.
It was an arrow went through his neck and the black blood spurted out.
Mm-hmm. Now there was a movie that came out in 67, directed by Roman Polanski.
Oh boy!
And so it starred Sharon Tate. And it was a movie.
Is that how we met her on that set?
Yes. The Fearless Vampire Killers, or pardon me, but my teeth are in your neck.
Oh, jeez.
Did you ever see it?
No, I didn't. I never even heard of it, actually, to be honest with you.
It's a funny movie. I mean, it's a horror movie, but it's funny.
Sharon Tate, of course, was killed by the Manson family. For anyone who doesn't know that, any younger viewers or listeners out there, terrible thing. And the Folgers heiress was murdered, stabbed 35 times. And Sharon Tate was pregnant when she was murdered. Not to be morbid, but just giving a little history lesson.
Vampire Killers. Some friends of mine hate that movie. They say it's so stupid. But you have to. It's beautiful to look at. It's wonderfully photographed.
Well, Sharon Tate was gorgeous. I mean, she was probably fresh off Valley of the Dolls. Mm-hmm. I think that was her first big movie.
And she's funny in this. She's really funny. And it's just it's really a decent
And Roman
movie.
Polanski, by the way, he's exiled from the U.S. I don't know if he still is.
Well, it's in a long time ago, but he
was with an underage girl.
Yeah, he lives in Paris now. But it's a good movie, and I really like the remake of Bram Stoker's Dracula, with what's his name? He's dead now. No, he's not.
The remake of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
There it is.
Okay, and
Gary Oldman. That's it. Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah. He's
Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins. It's a great version of Dracula. Some of my favorites. But we've been talking about movies, but are you okay? What are you doing? You got your mouth full.
A ham.
Remember, there was a TV show I used to watch. It was kind of funny. We'll get back to TV. It was called The Groovy Ghoulies. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Look at there. Look at this.
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah, it's animated. It's pretty funny. And,
who does the voices? Anybody notable?
Yeah, I have to look and see. But if it's, I have two genres of movies that I like. I like westerns and I like horror movies. Mm-hmm. But I like the old horror movies.
Yeah, you said previously you don't like the slashers. See, I like the slashers.
No, I don't like the slashers.
I like all horror movies. But I'm not afraid of a little gore because I appreciate.
I'm not afraid of it. It's just
it's artistry. The gore effects.
It's just not my cup of tea. But I can watch them and be entertained by them. But I don't want to watch them all the time.
Right.
But I mean, I know you like the newer horror movies, but do you have an absolute favorite?
Well, you've already bashed one of my favorites, Creepshow. I loved Creepshow a lot.
I don't hate it. I just didn't
And there's
care
a new
for it.
series. It's streaming right now. There's a new Creepshow series out.
There is?
Mm-hmm. Tom's mentioned it on the Podblast before.
Oh, I don't remember. But
and Greg Nicotero's involved, who is a director on The Walking Dead, and he started an effects company, special effects, K&B Effects.
Mhm.
And they did the effects on a movie we saw recently, The New Mutants. Remember when the woman got slashed? I'm not giving anything away, but this woman gets slashed in the neck, and there's some pretty cool gore. And he did the Piranha remake that I love. I'll answer your question right now with that. That came out, I think, in 2010, and it was a remake of the classic Piranha with the fish.
Mhm.
And there was a great effect where this girl, I've mentioned on the Podblast before last year, where the lady's parasailing, and she goes into the water and comes up, and it's just her torso. And all these guts fall out.
Oh, God.
And she's been eaten up instantly. And Richard Dreyfuss was in it. There was a little tribute to Jaws in the very beginning of that movie, and they shot that in New Mexico. But check it out, Piranha, and it was in 3D. And at the end, guys, this is a family show. So kids, all right, I'm not going to use bad language, but this is pretty gross. At the end of the movie, you see a severed penis in 3D floating in water.
Why would they
right
show
at the
that?
camera? Just for shock value. I mean, why did they show a prosthetic penis in Boogie Nights with Mark Wahlberg?
But why didn't they just
fake
show
penis?
why didn't they just show a leg or something?
They wanted to just do something that hadn't been done before and shock value. I mean, there was another movie like
Folks,
that.
he's making that up.
No, I'm not. I've seen it. And there was another movie like that called I Spit on Your Grave, where this woman got revenge on rapists, and that's a very gory, great horror movie.
Now, speaking of
recommend
that movie, I had a 16 millimeter print of that.
Did you watch it?
It was a low budget movie. I think it was shot in North Carolina, and a lot of drive-ins used to show that movie.
Yeah.
I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah.
And in fact, I sold a 35 millimeter trailer for that movie. I got a lot of money for it. But yeah, I had a print of it. It was, it was okay. It was just gross.
Well, we don't want to inspire Bobbits out there. Like, Mrs. Bobbitt, I'll just leave it at that. What a horrible thing. But there's some bad stuff in that movie, I Spit in Your Grave, boy, where she's getting revenge on those sons of bitches that attacked her.
And there was another one that was filmed, I think, in North called The Corpse Grinders. Did you ever see that one?
No, I never saw it.
Oh. Well, they would kill people and grind them up and sell the meat.
Oh, God, no.
It's called the and you saw them put the legs in this machine, and they were just cranking it,
I may have seen it. HBO, when I was a kid, would air these movies endlessly. These horror movies and like Evil Speak with Ron Howard's brother. And just...
Terrible actor.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name? Ben. He was in Gentle Ben. That's the first thing he did on TV.
He was in some episodes of Andy Griffith, too.
I know. Clint Howard.
Clint Howard.
But he did a lot of B movies to get a paycheck in the 80s, early 80s and stuff. Yeah. Your monitor went out there.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
it's trying to go to
I
sleep.
love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, to answer your question.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't care for that one
You don't
either.
care for anything, man. Almost everything I've ever mentioned. You say, I don't care for that, and then you don't elaborate.
No, I just told you I don't like the gore.
The gore.
I don't care for the gore.
So that's your sole reason for not liking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't want to see somebody with a chainsaw cut somebody's leg
House
off.
on Haunted Hill?
Yeah, but that didn't show any gore.
So I'm just asking if you liked it, just a straight up yay or nay. If you saw it.
I can, would I buy a DVD copy? No, but I could watch it one time maybe, but I just didn't care for it.
Well, I got a question for you. What movie do you have on tap today? We sometimes watch a movie after we wrap on the show, and you wanted to watch a horror movie. So what do you suggest we watch today? Or is it a surprise?
I have you could pick one out. Maybe.
All right. Well, you got a hell of a lot of movies. You got a whole library here. Film, DVD.
I would suggest
Blu-ray.
Shadow of the Vampire.
You can stream it. Go ahead.
I don't know. Sleepy Hollow. I haven't looked at that in a long time.
All right. We'll figure it out.
That was a good movie.
I should have brought Friday the 13th Part 3D. Damn it. I have it in 3D.
Oh.
And it's only 90 minutes long. Okay.
Well, most of these horror movies aren't very long anyway.
What I like about the 80s horror movies is they had comedy as well as sex appeal. It wasn't just straight up.
Well, the
gore.
Fearless Vampire Killers from the 70s was that way. It was a comedy,
right?
But it was funny. I mean, it was just Roman Polanski. Say what you will about him, he's a great director, and he's a pretty good actor too. He's a little guy, but
hey, so am I.
But
I'm
anyway,
only 5'5". Anyway,
it's a good movie. I highly recommend it because I have friends of mine that hate it, but that's okay. We all don't like the same thing. No. But, I mean, I never could understand why film companies would release horror movies, the really good ones, they should release them around Halloween. And
a good point.
But a lot of times they release them in Christmas, or they release them in...
Oh, they'll release... I heard the cuckoo clock.
Oh, the cuckoo clock?
I don't know why, because it's not top of the hour as we record this live.
No.
But go on.
But no, I just like movies that... I like horror that you don't see. Like, for example, one of the best horror movies was called The Haunting, black and white. You never see a ghost, but you know the ghost is in the house. You feel the ghost is there, but you never see a ghost.
Like When a Stranger Calls.
Or you never see a monster or anything.
Okay.
But The Haunting is a great movie, black and white.
So you like the implied
And
terror.
they did a remake of that back in 2000. But
that's more artistic.
Yes. But The Haunting is black and white. It just got great shadows in it, but you feel the presence of evil in the house, but you just don't see it.
A freaky movie I saw was The Ring.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, this girl gets sucked into a VHS recorder. It's just, trust me, man. It's like this woman is just haunting these people. I won't give it away, but it's a great movie. Anyone that's seen it, The Ring, knows what I'm talking about. And I like the Final Destination movies, too. Did you watch those?
I don't think I have.
Where people are cursed on a roller coaster and okay.
No, I've never saw that.
Great series of films. And of course Scream. I think Scream's really good.
Well, the first there was two. What did they did two of those? Scream 1 and Scream 2.
More than that, but yeah.
I saw the first one.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, Courtney Cox is in it and
I didn't care. But you know, what was the movie?
If I had a nickel for every time you say, or a quarter, make it $1 every time you say I don't care for that.
What was that movie that came out? They shot it on videotape, and they were out in the woods, and they were supposedly seeing ghosts and stuff. It was terrible.
The Blair Witch Project.
Yes. I thought that movie absolutely...
Sleeper hit, low budget. It made so much money,
It made a ton of money. Yeah. But it was all shot on videotape, and the quality, it didn't look very good. I was actually working at the Tower Theater here in Atlanta, and I built up a print of that. I said, well, this might be pretty good. I watched it, I said, oh my God, this thing stinks. I just didn't care for it. A lot of people did, but it made a lot of money. Made a lot of money.
It did. I've got one more quick clip to play for you.
Is it quick?
It's quick. Trust me.
All
Trust
right.
your teammate. Ready?
Go ahead.
Collect. Burger Chef, you're incredible!
Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night.
They're back, all the little Peanuts characters, in a happy Halloween special, filled with ghosties and ghoulies and things that go bump in the night. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
10 singers, 9 singers, 8 yummy singers, 7 singers, 6 singers, 5 tasty singers.
Everyone wants to zap gold cake with vanilla frosting, devil's food with chocolate, raspberry with coconut, all with cream centers.
Please one singer to zap.
Right now, in specially marked bonus packs, you'll find a pumpkin decorating kit and 2 extra zingers.
Trick or treat.
1 trick and 2 treats from Dolly Madison.
All right.
Now, do you remember those snack cakes, Dolly Madison?
I do.
I love zingers with their little frosting on there. Mass-produced crap, but I love it.
Now, we'll talk about The Great Pumpkin towards the end of the show.
Yeah, because there's a controversy. I know others have talked about it, but we want to also address what's going on with the Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin.
It just seems that a lot of tradition that we're used to is kind of going away. I know times change, and nothing ever stays the same, but I don't know.
Do you want to talk about it now, or you want to wait?
Well, we can wait. You know, but
okay.
There's lots of more horror movies.
Okay.
In the genre that I thought were very good. That so, but I mean, so if you had to, I mean, do you like the older movies at all?
I like it all. Like I said earlier, I can appreciate both, but really, I grew up with Fangoria magazine, and that's like a magazine that Starlog put out, and it would just show the most graphic scene from every horror movie. And again, I think Halloween really started the gore, and it wasn't really that gory in the first Halloween film
No, it
that
wasn't.
John Carpenter
It wasn't.
directed, except for a scene maybe where he gets the hanger in the eye. And there was, a stabbing, but I just didn't think it was all that gory. But point being, the gore age started in the late 70s and continued on, and it's never really let up. If you look at the Saw movies, if you look at Hostel, and I do appreciate the old movies. To answer your question, I'm being long-winded with this answer.
Well, like in the early days, like the Universal horror movies, like in Dracula, you never actually saw him bite somebody.
That's weird.
You would see him go down on whoever he was going to
like out of frame. Out of frame.
Well, no, but it would just fade down. You knew.
What do you mean go down on?
On their neck, bite them.
Right.
You have a dirty mind. But anyway, so they just go down and then they bite, but they never actually showed it in the early days. But because back then movies were rated, they had to pass a certain code, and if they got too out of line, they wouldn't release it. But anyway, but as time went on, you're right. They got more brave and they got more bloody, and
We have a Facebook comment from Jeff Logan. Is Scanners a horror movie or a sci-fi movie, or horror and sci-fi?
Well, I think it's a combination of both.
I do too. And Tom Basil Chesterman on Facebook, our co-host, has mentioned that before. And he's been working in the TV industry for a long time. And he talked about how they would show the footage of their heads exploding, and they'd rewind it and watch it again and again.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think so too. But that's a good call. Scanners. That was a good horror movie.
It's been a long time since I watched it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in ages myself.
It's one I wouldn't buy, but if it came on television, I would watch it.
Yeah, and I like Poltergeist.
I liked it the first time I saw it. I like it. I mean, I don't dislike it at all.
I think that is just a classic movie.
But it was very popular. It made a lot of money.
And I love the premise, I mean, I love that, spoiler alert, that these people are being haunted because they moved into a house that was built on an old Indian burial ground, right? Mm-hmm. And I love the scene where this guy is peeling his face off in the mirror. And if you look at it today, yes, it looks a little fakey. But back when you were a kid, when you were like 9 years old,
and movie making has gotten a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, well, that was pre-CGI.
Right.
But there was a little bit more originality, I think, in the old school effects, like Friday the 13th, like Kevin Bacon getting the arrow we mentioned previously in this Podblast, the arrow through the neck. Obviously, it's a fake neck, and we have a call, and then the arrow comes out of the fake neck.
Hello, who is this?
Yeah, Scanners back in the day was an amazing effect movie.
It's Tom.
Yeah, with exploding heads. I remember when we saw that, we actually dumped it to 2-inch videotape.
Really?
And we ran it back and forth just to see how the effects was going.
It's like...
So there you go. There you go. It impressed us that much because when that guy Saxon, he just passed away. Didn't
John Saxon, yes, he did.
Yeah, and so he was the one that was able to do that to this guy sitting behind the desk.
Oh, so he was kind of a B actor.
Well,
God, so negative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't in too many A pictures. He was in a lot of movies.
But he's in a lot of he was in a lot of TV shows.
He was in Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. He was in a lot of movies. Well, I just wanted to call in briefly. Just mentioned you guys. I'm sorry I'm not there, but you guys have a good show. And,
well, Tom, do you have? I mean, do you have a favorite horror genre? I mean, you're like me. We're about the same age. Do you?
Yep,
I mean, I like the old Universal horror type movies. That's what I like.
I do too. But I mean, I know you've got a 16 print of Frankenstein.
Right. But my print of Frankenstein has an edit in it. A lot of people, there's a scene in it where he picks the little girl up and he throws her into the lake.
Well, that scene's in your print, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in my print, yes. But a lot of people, that got cut out. He picks this little girl up and then he throws her right into the lake.
Right.
And she drowns.
It's one of the early movies that I think, personally, this is my opinion, of course, that Bride of Frankenstein was better written than
Bride of Frankenstein was much better. You're absolutely right. It was just
because you got to see Karloff evolve the monster, and
had Elsa Lancaster, I think Lancaster, Chester. Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah, she wasn't in it very long, but
no,
I am halfway surprised they didn't bring her back because let's face it, they brought Frankenstein back from the dead so many times. It wouldn't have been that much of a stretch to brought her back as well.
That is true. That is true.
And who knows why they didn't do it. But yeah, she was very good in it. Even if she didn't speak, she just shrieked, at the end. And Dr. Pretorius, it's a shame they killed him off because I thought he was fantastic. The actor that played Pretorius, his name escapes me, was amazing.
When it comes to today's horror movies, do you have a favorite?
No, I really don't, because today's horror movies are just too gory for
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chance likes that, which is fine, but I'm just not into all that gore. I just don't. I really don't care for it. It's just like I mentioned a while ago. The Haunting is probably one of the best horror movies made, and you never see a ghost or anything, but you know the ghost is there.
Yeah,
you know.
Train to Busan was good. I mean, it was more of a zombie movie. It was a horror movie, of course, but and the sequel was kind of funny in a way, but it was okay as well. But the Final Destination movies, I think there were 5 of them. Much effects driven they were, and the effects were very good. But it was just one after the other after the other.
In terms of what? In terms of movies or killings?
Next?
Oh,
what's going to kill? Who's going to get killed next, and how? You know. Did you like those, Chance?
I did. We talked about it earlier in the show. I like the first couple of them anyway. I like the first 2.
Yeah, I thought the one particularly gruesome scene was when the girl was going to get her laser surgery done for her eyes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
So I won't go any further than that. So if we'd have clips, which Al would say, don't run that.
Right, he would.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Cliff, but that's okay. Well, we miss you. Too bad you're not here.
Yeah, how come you're not here?
Exactly.
You had an appointment, right?
I'll let you guys go, and
okay.
You guys have a good show, and I'll talk to you later.
You're missing. Hey, you're missing some Pizza Hut pizza.
Well, I had some community barbecue.
That's good
which
too.
Blows the pizza away. So, yeah, what can I say?
Oh, certainly blows Pizza Hut away, but.
Yeah.
Well, they'll never be a sponsor.
Well, before you go, I want to ask you a question. Are you doing okay since Rose passed away?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough thing about somebody you've had for about 17 years.
Yeah, Rose was a sweet dog, and of course, he had to have her put down because she had cancer, but she was a sweet dog. And I saw her last Saturday.
She started having the bad seizures, and she had 2 that morning. And a seizure is one thing, but she had a seizure plus she was literally yelling, and it just tore your heart out to see it.
Oh, I couldn't stand that. That
Yeah.
You did the right thing, and she's across that Rainbow Bridge, and you'll see her again.
Yeah, amazingly so. And she would sit down in our studio. Just lay there on the floor and just listen to us do our show, and she was great. She wouldn't bark or wouldn't mess with anybody. She would just lay there.
In fact, Sonny's in here somewhere.
A great dog.
Yeah, Sonny's back here.
Yeah.
But Rose was a great dog. But
she really was. She really was. I appreciate it.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with you, Tom, and we miss you. And we'll see you next week at Studio East, right? The day after Halloween.
Yes, exactly.
We'll talk about Saturday morning shows. Sorry, go ahead.
What?
And chances are, no pun intended. Oh yeah, it was. It was a pun intended. I might not have to do that Hollywood thing, like I said. The Halloween thing, like I said. But Hurricane Zeta,
I saw.
Storm Zeta,
supposed to hit Wednesday. I heard.
It's time for hurricanes to go away. We're supposed to get rain here in Atlanta next Thursday and Friday from it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it goes. The boss has already put out the email saying, extra shows have been added. So we'll see how that works, and if it doesn't work good, I look forward to watching movies Saturday night at your place.
All right. What do you think of Chance's costume?
Well, I couldn't see it because the live bug was totally covering his head. The live bug that Facebook puts up totally covers his face, and all I see is from neck down.
I'm just dressed as a hippie. It's nothing special. I have a wig on, like an afro and curly hair, and a tie-dye shirt from the '60s and bell bottoms.
Wow.
It's nothing special.
Well, I'll have to wear what I was going to wear today, next week.
What are you going to wear?
It was Jerry Mather's sweatshirt in a Leave It to Beaver episode when they went to the hardware store and bought these monster sweatshirts.
Oh.
Okay. And I've got.
What are you doing? You'll fall.
I got the one that Beaver bought and wore to school that the other kids were supposed to wear to school, but they wussed out. So Beaver was the only one to show up with the monster sweatshirt, and he got in trouble.
Chance has got bell bottoms on.
Oh my gosh!
I used to wear bell bottoms.
Well, yeah, we all did. We all did.
I used to wear them.
Yeah, we all did.
That's
Now,
the
I
fun
had a
days.
pair of bell bombs that had. I don't know if you remember it. They had. They came out with a fashion that had little tiny denim squares all sewn together.
Mm-hmm.
And there for a small period. I had some bell bombs like that.
I got these at Junkman's Daughter in Little 5 Points in Atlanta.
Do I know?
I got these at Junkman's Daughter in Little 5 Points.
Yeah, of course you did. Yeah, of course you did. Yeah.
We went there one time back
Yes,
last
we did.
summer.
Junkman's Daughter is a cool place, and I really wanted to go to Criminal Records yesterday, but I obviously I couldn't. But they had record store day or record day was yesterday, I believe. So
No, I forgot. Where's Criminal Records at?
Little 5 Points.
Little 5 Points.
Oh, okay.
And Wax and Facts.
Yeah.
There's 2 record stores
Yeah,
right
I know
there.
Wax and Facts. I like Fantasyland in Buckhead.
I do too.
I do too. I do too. But like we always say, like I really need more records.
You got way too many. You don't listen to.
I got way too many now. So
Well, it's good to hear you laughing. It's really good to hear.
Oh, I went to
Y'all take care.
I went to one of my favorite stores close to me, Book Nook, the other day, and picked up some books on Andy Warhol, one of my favorites.
Oh.
But anyway, the day after Thanksgiving, everything at Book Nook is going to be half off.
Really?
Everything except for the toys and the new comics. Everything else is half
Black
price.
Friday sale.
Black
Don't call me a
Friday.
racist. That's just what they call it. It's a
After
Black
the
Friday
day after
sale.
Thanksgiving, everything is half price.
Now, this past week, I think it was like Wednesday or one day, I went to Book Nook on Claremont to see if they had any horror-related items
Yeah.
that I could share, but they didn't have anything this year.
No.
I mean, they had a few things, but nothing worth purchasing and bringing. You know,
Right.
The only thing I meant to give you for your show today was my Trumpkin.
Oh, you're Trumpkin.
Trumpkin, that would have been really nice to.
Well, we'll show it next time.
Yeah. I'll
Well, see,
matter of fact,
I have that little flashing pumpkin, see?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. All right, guys.
Little
you
neon.
guys go and have a good show. I'm sure you're getting close to wrapping up anyway, so we will see you next week and talk to you before that.
All right.
Don't
Be
work-
good. Have a great week.
Don't work too hard.
All right.
Okay, bye.
I'll try
Bye.
not to.
Bye. That's good. We'll get together next week. But yeah, he's got a Trumpkin. You know, of course it's Trump, but it's kind of funny looking.
I love it. He put it out last year too, and of course it's orange like a pumpkin, like his face and
Like,
stuff.
yeah.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. But he was smart not to put it outside because someone might smash it or steal it. It's pretty neat.
Funny. Did you like the movie?
I love it. He
Nightmare
he
on-
put it out. My bad. I got it.
You like the movie Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, we just talked about Freddy Krueger, and I played earlier the 9-100 call
And
service.
what I meant to say, the
they
night
got a milk
before Christmas.
Yeah.
With Tim Burton movie, wasn't that it?
Animated. Yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah, I like that.
Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
What's his name?
A great animation.
Yeah, it was great.
I liked it.
I've got that Laserdisc, but I don't have it on DVD. We can watch that. Now I hear the cuckoo clock.
Now, do you have any other movies you want to feature here?
No, not really. I've kind of gone through the ones that I like, you know.
Well, Tom Savini, as I mentioned, him and Greg Nicotero, my favorite makeup artists of all time. But let me ask you this: Who was a makeup artist that you liked from the Universal Horror days?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that. I have
Okay.
no idea.
Okay.
You know.
So you don't really like the actors and the directors, but you don't dig deep
The
enough
makeup
into
stuff,
the
I
makeup.
could,
Okay.
Well, they have a category of that for the Academy Awards, which is cool. But nah, you know, I like the actors, the director, and the music, the composer. They're three of my favorites from movies.
What's your favorite Halloween costume that you dressed up in as a kid or teenager or
Oh,
at a party or anything
I don't know.
throughout your life?
I did dress up, but I don't remember. It's just a long time ago. You?
Yeah, I have a couple. One, when I was 9, my neighbor Larry Hutchison, I guess this would be considered blackface, unfortunately. It wasn't intended to be, but it was like, I was supposed to be a vampire. And he put this like dark makeup on. I have photos of it.
Right.
I'd hold it up, but it would look bad. And there was fake blood on my forehead and down my cheeks and stuff. That was one of my favorite ones. And then I dressed up as the Incredible Hulk, and I won an award for that. This is back in high school. I put food coloring on my skin, and it took like 2 weeks for it to wash out. I got green food coloring.
So you're all
I
green.
dyed my skin completely green. I tore a pair of jeans up real bad. And the assistant principal, Larry Whaley, said to me, he goes, "You know, in Russia, those cost $100. You done tore them up for some stupid costume?" And I said, well, they had a hole in them, whatever. And
Well, yeah, they go
but
bad.
that was one of my. But my first time I dressed up as the Hulk, I think I was in 5th grade, and of course, Mom helped me with it. And there's a photo of it somewhere. I can't find it in our old photo album.
You should have brought it. Would have shown it.
I can't find that photo. That was the better one. I mean, I'm as scrawny as I am now, because I'm a short dude. But that was one of my favorite costumes.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure I dressed up, but I don't remember what I was. Even when I went to the Turner Halloween parties, I didn't dress up, of course. But
Not even as like Frankenstein or like just a mask, like this.
Oh, I had mask. You probably did.
See, this mask. This is one of the 9 I have. This one's not wrecked. This was my COVID mask. This is supposed to be Lee Majors' Colt
Looks
Seavers.
nothing like Lee Majors, by
That's
the way.
because it's made in China, and they put friggin' lipstick on him, and his eyebrows look like Kardashian-style
That could be
eyebrows.
anybody. That could be anybody.
It probably was. It's probably a cookie-cutter mask.
Yeah, that could be anybody. They just called it Lee Majors. They get you to buy it.
Here, I'll put it on for the camera. We're on Facebook in our Nostalgic Podblast group, and we're on YouTube. Nostalgic Podblast there. If you want to see this, it's not terribly entertaining, but let me just put
I've
this
seen
thing
it
on.
before.
Seen what?
That mask on you before.
Here.
They just hold it up to you.
Anyway, and I got another quick clip.
Your wig's coming off.
Oh, shit.
There you go. There you go.
There we are.
Actually, that wig looks good on you.
It do? It does? All right, let me find this. And if I'm potted up, I got another quick clip here. More commercials. Halloween theme.
My big friend, I love the big taste of chocolate in this little Hershey's
Hershey's Kisses, the little kiss with the big taste.
Hallmark's ready for Halloween, and
That's
it's
Peter
the
Lorre.
strangest thing. Everybody's wild about new
Actor like
scratch
Peter
and
Lorre.
sniff stickers in special trick-or-treat packages, and they're dying to take home these cuddly pumpkin bean bags. And these party decorations are so popular, they seem to just disappear. So come to Hallmark, the Halloween store. We're waiting for you.
I'm going to stop here. That makes me sad. The Hallmark store, they're closing left and right.
Well,
as
people
is-
buy this stuff online. That's why.
It's sad to me though. Sears stores are closing. As this COVID-19 has just wrecked our economy.
Sears was in trouble way before COVID.
I know, but this was like the nail in the coffin though.
Yeah.
And I'm just so sick of it. And I just someone's got to pay for this. Someone in China has got to pay for unleashing this on the
Well,
world. It just and the movie theaters are declaring bankruptcy. Like Studio Movie Grill. I don't know if they're regional, but here in Georgia, there's a place called
I
Studio
think they're
Movie
out
Grill.
of out west. Is their home office somewhere?
Well, it's a great theater with decent food, great hamburgers and the like.
Well, they have great hamburgers,
nice prices, and they have a nice rewards program. And they just declared bankruptcy the other day.
Well,
pissed me off.
But they'll still stay open. They're just restructuring. Now, some cinemas may close, but the one near me is going to stay open, I hope, because they do fairly well. I mean, they do good business up there.
Wait, should I let your dog out of the room? He's sniffing at the door.
No, he's fine.
Right.
He smells that pizza.
Well, when we worked at Cumulus, they restructured.
Yeah,
And they
so-
didn't shut down, but I'm just fear that Studio Movie Grill is going to close locations.
Well, they probably will.
And
I mean,
that's
it's
that's
one of
going to
those
suck
things.
because I just started going to movies again with you and with
Yeah.
other friends, and just makes me mad. All this is going on, but hey, let's talk about that Great Pumpkin, the Charlie Brown fiasco. I mean, this has been talked about all week on talk radio, but
Yeah,
it
we got about 12 minutes left. So
okay. Well, it just makes me ill. I know it doesn't affect you or make you as angry as it does me, but this was a tradition. The Peanuts, it's great. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. 25 minutes, but hey, you know what? I'm going to give a musical accompaniment. Easy for me to say.
I have their picture here. Let's take a look at it.
All right. And I'll put on this music.
There you go.
All right. Hear that? Every Halloween since 1966, this special would air. And starting this year, when you need it the most, it's going exclusively to Apple TV. I have nothing against Apple, but how many people have Apple TV?
Well, I don't have Apple TV, but didn't the show start out on CBS?
It did. I was about to mention that.
It started on CBS, and then it went to ABC.
It did. Listen, Peanuts, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown was a 25-minute special without commercials, 25 minutes without ads, that premiered on October 27th, 1966. And this special actually preempted My Three Sons. It aired in the My Three Sons time slot the first time it aired.
Show.
Right. And My Three Sons lasted 12 seasons, first on ABC, then on CBS. It switched networks, like Wonder Woman did. Hint, hint. Original sponsor for this was Coca-Cola and Dolly Madison Bakery Snacks, which is why I played that commercial earlier for Dolly Madison. And CBS aired this every Halloween season from 1966 until 2000. And then ABC picked it up in 2001 and aired it every Halloween until 2019, I like to say,
right.
2019. And now Apple TV will have it exclusively. But again, how many people have Apple TV versus access to the ABC television network, which is free over the air?
It's going that way. People are starting to stream, but I don't have an Apple TV. I have an iPhone.
It's a tradition that's going away, and I
have Roku, and there's a lot of stuff on Roku, but I understand why they're doing it. They figure Apple probably paid a lot of money for it, and there's only so much advertising they can make off of it since they ran it commercial free. So I figured, Now,
I didn't know they ran it commercial free.
You just said they ran it commercial.
No, I'm saying it was 25 minutes long without comommercials. No, they didn't. They ran it with commercials. And now, I'll say this. Now, to play devil's advocate, the Christmas Charlie Brown special, they've been editing for content and time, and also editing out the religious references. So
that's true.
The other side is, well, if you're going to edit it, if it's going to be unaltered on Apple TV, then great. But I still think that it's bad for a family tradition for little kids, especially like my little niece and nephew who are 7 and 8 years old. I don't know if they have Apple TV or not. They might at my sister's house, and you can of course buy it. You can buy a copy on DVD, a hard copy.
Yeah.
But I just think it's wrong, man. I think it's and it was bad timing this year to make it not available on network TV. I just think it's wrong.
Well, time marches on. I mean, it had a good run. It lasted a long time on television.
Here's a quick clip of Linus explaining The Great Pumpkin. This is very brief. If I can let me get past this ad. So your position is you don't care that it's going to Apple TV.
No, it doesn't bother me. I mean, it's tradition, but nothing ever stays the same.
It sure bothers me. But that's just me. Okay.
Did you actually watch it every year?
Not every year, but I'm talking about for my niece and nephew and other children out there.
Well, I'm sure they can afford to buy a DVD copy. They can watch it anytime they want.
But you missed the point. I mean, it's access. Not many people have access to Apple TV. It's just.
But I'm sure it's on DVD.
Look, some
not
fat
Apple
cat
TV.
got paid a lot of money. They cut a deal. They got a kickback, and that's why this happened. They didn't give a crap about the kids. Here's a quick clip of Linus explaining The Great Pumpkin.
Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you will bring me lots of presents.
Who are you writing to, Linus?
This is the time of year to write to the Great Pumpkin. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with his bag of toys for all the children.
You must be crazy. When are you going to stop believing in something that isn't true?
When you stop believing in that fellow with the red suit and the white beard who goes ho, ho, ho.
We are obviously separated by denominational differences.
You must get discouraged because more people believe in Santa Claus than in you. Well, let's face it, Santa Claus has had more publicity. But being number 2, perhaps you try harder. Not again! Writing a letter to a stupid pumpkin? You make me the laughing stock of the neighborhood. All they talk about is my little brother, who always writes to the Great Pumpkin. You better cut it out right now or I'll pound you. There are 3 things I have learned never to discuss with people: religion, politics, and the Great Pumpkin.
You're wasting your time. The Great Pumpkin is a fake.
Everyone tells me you are a fake, but I believe in you.
Yes.
So what a classic, you know. I watch it every year, and I love Peanuts and the Snoopy and the Red Baron, that whole cast of characters. And one guy named Bobby Bell, who was one of my sales managers, my sales career, said that I remind him of Pigpen. He goes, because there's always chaos around you. You're always chaotic. I said, but I do a good job, and I make the numbers. And he's like, that's true, but there's always chaos around you. I don't like the chaos.
Well, he's true about that.
Yeah, that's the way it's always been. And, well, I wish everyone listening, a happy Halloween. And again, remember that Jim Gossett's performing tonight at Houck's Grill for a special Halloween night show. If you're listening on fistfulradio.com, if you're watching live and listening live, you can still buy tickets if you go to newsmakerline.com. He's a friend of the show and a hell of a talent, far more talented than anyone on this show. But
and one more thing before I go, you know.
Oh, did you have one more thing if you want?
No, I'll play. Did you have a favorite Halloween candy? Do you just like it all?
I like candy corn, of course. Brock's. It's got to be the Brock's candy.
The candy corn.
That's what I like is the Brock's candy corn.
The thing about candy corn, I like it, but when you start eating it, you can't stop.
You can't stop, and it's pure sugar.
It's pure sugar. Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible for you, for your teeth, for your body, but man, they're so good. But you're right. You can eat half a bag and nothing flat. But that's one of my favorites.
I remember after we got home from trick-or-treating, my parents would make me and my brother take the candy and pour it out on the table.
Yeah.
To go through it to make sure there was nothing that was really bad for you.
Or like a razor blade or something. You hear about those horror stories.
Well,
that never happened to me, thank God.
I used to get candy apples, but the candy apples that I would get were people that isn't in the neighborhood, the parents that we knew. They wouldn't do anything like that. I wouldn't take homemade candy from a stranger. My parents wouldn't let us. So it would just be, if our next door neighbor, if she made candy apples, it was okay. We could eat them. But
did you ever pull pranks on anyone, or were you a good kid?
No, I never did pull pranks.
You didn't egg cars or anything?
I never did that.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah. Yep.
I figured.
Danny, friend of the show, Danny, and we have some stories to tell, but I've got to get permission from him before I divulge anything. Yeah, we were hellions. We were on Halloween.
That's okay, but I never did.
But it was like when we hit puberty, you know, we were good kids up until a certain point, you know, and then when you become a teenager, we got a little out of control. We did. Now I have a quick correction corner.
You do? Did you make a mistake?
I always make a mistake.
Well, we'll see what we can do about that.
Okay, last week was our James Bond show, and we're going to do another live James Bond show in the future next month, by the way, at fistfulradio.com studios, 3-hour live show. Excited about that. We left so much out because we ran out of time, but I mentioned the jetpack last week in the segment when we talked about Thunderball, and I said how, and this is true, it was first featured on Lost in Space in the pilot called No Place to Hide, and I said that was filmed in January 1964. Wrong. It was filmed in January 65, but that still was months before the production of Thunderball, which was released at the end of 1965. The pilot was before the debut of Lost in Space, which is in September 65. So the pilot was shot in early 65 with all the jetpack scenes. And Thunderball always gets credit for being the first movie or TV show that featured the jetpack, and that's not true. So I like to set that record straight. So I was off by a year. I knew that. I don't know why I said January 64 is when the pilot was filmed, No Place to Hide. It was really January 65, but still predates by the final release of and the production of Thunderball. Yep.
Well, I do have one more thing. I am so sick of watching political ads on television, and now I'm getting them on my cell phone. Do you get them on your cell phone?
I get text messages from both political parties.
I get text message. I just got one on my phone to vote for a certain individual, and I can't wait till this election is over.
Well, it will be very soon.
Have you voted?
No, I haven't. I'm going to wait till Election Day. I might early vote, though, because I'm afraid it might be so packed, and I want to get my my voice heard in the form of a vote.
You have nothing to do. When I go,
that's not true. I have a life.
When I go to vote, I'm going to vote Election Day, and if I have to wait 2 hours or 30 minutes, I'm going to stand there and wait in line and vote. I mean, that's the voting day.
Didn't you say that, like, if you're in line before, 7 p.m. is when the polls close?
If you're in line, they'll let you go in and vote.
But they'll cut off the line at 7.
There's a certain cutoff point, yes.
So the key is to get there before 7 o'clock.
Well, I'll go up there in the morning.
Yeah, well, I will too. Yeah.
The elementary
Why
school I
risk
voted
it?
at is just like it's not even a mile from my house.
I voted at elementary school as well in Cobb. I think it's Teasley Elementary. Yeah,
mine's 9th Elementary, and it's right around the corner, and I can get there.
Same here. I could walk there.
I could walk to it too, but I won't.
I think I'm about not even half a mile away.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, anyway, we've come to the end of the show, and I hope everybody has a safe Halloween. If you're going to Halloween parties, I guess you're going to have to practice social distancing. I don't know how they're going to do that, but
safe sex if you're an adult.
Just have to throw that in. But I never thought Halloween is a time to pick up people.
No, but I'm going to a party tomorrow night in Athens, and I'm not. I'm just saying it's an adult party. And you got to be prepared and don't drink and drive. Definitely Uber or Lyft.
Well, I remember the last
drink and
time
drive.
you went to Danny's, you came back pretty messed up.
I did. I fell. Oh God, I just had too much to drink. I wasn't driving anywhere. I spent the night as I'm going to this time. But yeah, I got pretty tore
Danny's
up.
a bad influence. I like Danny. Danny,
he's a friend of the show.
I'm just teasing.
He fills in, and he's been a guest here a lot.
He's a great guest. You know,
he's a better speaker than I am.
Hey, Danny, you didn't invite me. That's okay. That's all right. You don't have to.
I'm sure he'd let you come. It's tomorrow. We're having a little after party. If you're listening to fistfulradio.com, we're recording on October 25th, but this will air on Halloween Day and on November 1. So it'll be a thing of the past.
And forever on Facebook.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen at this Halloween? How many people are going to be there?
I don't know, but he's the general manager of a big place in Athens, and I think it's going to be a pretty big party at his house. And I'm excited about it. Should be fun.
Well,
he's a good friend, and you are too, and so is Tom. We appreciate every single listener and viewer as we grow our show. Remember, we're on YouTube as Nostalgic Podblast. Oh, listen to that music. Yeah. Oh, set the mood, Al.
Well, I don't know. I guess after the party tomorrow night, we won't hear from Chance for a few days.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Hopefully it'll all work out where we can do a show November 1 if Tom isn't called in to cover this damn hurricane. We'll talk about Saturday morning classic TV, man. Cartoons and live action. Sid and Marty Krofft and all that jazz with a special guest. Lots of video. Should be fun. Have a wonderful Halloween.
Well, have a great Halloween, and thanks for listening and watching, and we'll catch you next time. Hey, Chance, leave that wig on, all right? I kind of like it. Bye.